So for those people interested in the student business planning competition, here are a few ideas to give some structure to your application.
So you'll have an executive summary. You'll have all the normal stuff, you know, the index with the page numbers and all of that at the beginning as well. And I suggest a front cover that makes very clear what your product or service is, something that reflects the brand that you've created. So then we're going on to the idea. So you're going to have a section on the idea. One of the things the judges will want to know is very clearly, what is the idea? Is it a product? Is it a service? Is it a combination of the two? So just tell them this is what the idea is. Tell them where the idea came from. What made you think of it? I saw that I couldn't buy it, I couldn't find something I was looking for. My friends have told me that, whatever it is. Then talk something about the research you've done to test the idea to make sure there is a market for it. So take us through your secondary research, possibly some primary research if you've done any asking people, primary data collection, anything like that. Anything that substantiates that the idea is a good idea. Okay.
Here's a reminder of the key points so far. Now, next stage, let's look at what's involved in marketing in your plan.
It must address the issues of who your market is, why people are going to buy this, what the benefits of the product are. The benefits could be both relative, it's relatively better than a substitute or an alternative product, or absolute benefits, something it does that nothing else does do. Okay, so really focus on benefits, because remember, when people buy products and services, they're basically not buying functions and features, they're buying benefits and solutions to problems. Okay, always ask yourself benefits and solutions.
Here's a quick recap. The next stage is to look at marketing in more depth.
You need to go through those 10 P's of marketing: the place, the price, the product, the promotion, the people, the process and the physical resource, if there are some. The physical resource, of course, could be your web presence. That's a sort of a metaphysical resource. And then you've got my perception, personalisation and participation P's. Participation is where you use social media to get a community talking. That's very important.
Here's a quick reminder of those 10 P's.
The personalisation is designing the product as best you can, making it bespoke and special for the person that's buying it. And then the perception is very much around the brand and the brand image that you want to build to encapsulate your product offer, and the placement where you want to position that brand in the market.
Now let's have a look at a resource that will help you with your business planning, the NDI website.
So this one is about buyer behaviour, so you just press that, and up comes some stuff on buyer behaviour, including some web links and so on and so forth. There's a whole load of stuff on there, and if you need information and advice to help you steer you, the idea is with this, that somebody who is not in a university or hasn't got access to academics, they can go to this, and it's been constructed by academics to help people to put better business plans together. And the judges will want to know about how well you understand your cost base. So that will be about your direct costs, the costs of making things that you're going to be selling, or actually doing the core things to provide the service that you're going to be doing. And it will be your variable or your overhead costs. That might be marketing costs, it might be a whole range of other things that I haven't thought of, but that you need to understand. So you might need premises, for example, you might need insurances, things like that. So you've got to think through what are the things that aren't directly related to the goods you're making, but that you've got to have in order to trade. So you've got your directly relevant goods to production, and then you've got your indirect, and of course the sum of the two is total costs. You need to understand that. And the judges will want to know about how well you understand your cost base. Now, pricing strategy is as much an art as it is a science, but the one thing for sure is that price must at least cover cost. So you've got to do the maths, if you like, of the price, volume, cost relationships to work out how you're going to break even and make a profit. One of the things on the website, there's a section on something called break-even analysis. If you haven't done that, it's break-even analysis for beginners. It just explains to you about understanding, the importance of understanding the relationship of cost, volume and profit. Now, again, once you've got your head around the concept of that, actually it's very easy to understand. When you're doing your finance section, you've got to be able to describe the costs, the prices and the volumes, and you'll need some spreadsheet with some what if it's this, what if it's that, with a few alternative scenarios. You will need to show that you understand cash flow. The thing that will break any business is not having enough money to see you through to the point where at some point you become profitable. Because you will have to buy materials and pay bills before you receive income, almost certainly. So what that means is that you've got to plan your cash flows. It's different to profit. You plan your cash flows, and when you see that you've got 6 or 7 months of red ink where you're actually losing money before you get into the starting to make money, that's the subject of your conversations with your bank or whatever to finance the overdraft of that. That's where you've got to borrow money to pay the cash flow to see you through to the point where you become profitable. And again, banks expect that. But what they want to see is that you've thought this through and that you can see where the point goes where you go from red through to pink, eventually through to grey, through to black. Alright? And don't try to grow too fast. You might be thinking to yourselves, oh, the best solution to this is I'm going to go for it and I'm going to sell millions of items instantly. That will be an even bigger problem than managing slow growth. Fast growth is one of the hardest things in the world to manage from a business point of view, because you burn cash even faster. So if you show, and again, if you show to the judges that you understand you're going to go on a managed trajectory of growth rather than all-out blitz, they'll be far happier to hear that. You might think to yourselves, they'd like to see that we're going to sell 1 million items in our first week. A, they won't believe it, and if they did believe it, they'll say, it'll kill you. You'll be wiped out overnight. So it's managed, careful, planned growth as best you can. Alright, so that's that financial. Then there's obviously, we'll want to see profit and loss accounts, and what we'd like to see is forecasts for 3 years. We all well recognise that forecasting is very difficult and it might in the end not mean very much. But what it shows to a bank or one of our judges is that you've thought through the process of growth, you've seen the implications, and if you like, you've got your wish list of where you're going to be in 1, 2 and 3 years' time. We've done marketing, the finance stuff, some of the logistical stuff. If you're employing people, you need to demonstrate. Now, it might be that if you've got to employ someone, that you include in your business plan a job description, so that we can see that you know what you're looking for. And then, in the end, what you might do in your business plan is, if you've got, one of the things that judges like, is they like to see the future scalability of these things.
Thank you, Chris. Well, I hope that's given you some indication of what's involved in the Student Business Planning competition, and we look forward to receiving your application really soon. Thanks.